lunch yet? You have? Don't go to sleep now. That's good. Well, this is the first session. We're going to talk about LumiSpa. There are 5,000 people sitting in this room. Can you imagine that? And I have to do this 4 times. It's incredible. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this particular technology and how we came about discovering how exciting this technology is. Okay, because this is something our scientists in NewSkin have been working on this discovery for at least 4 years. So to us, it's one of the most exciting scientific studies we have ever conducted, and we are so pleased to be able to take the discovery and put it into a product. Now, many of you know, as our scientists develop our products, we always are looking for active ingredients. We do that all the time. These active ingredients are very important to us because without the active ingredients, we cannot develop active products. That's the first step. And then we have to figure out, in order for these so-called great active products to work on the skin, or for that matter in other supplements, pharmaceutical supplements, but for today, let's talk about the skincare. We must be able to get these active product ingredients into the skin in such a manner that the skin can actually benefit from the ingredients. So that's what we have to find out a very effective delivery system. And the galvanics or the facial spa does that. We have that technology, and many of you are aware, we are the first people to be able to convert a microcurrent technology to something into a product that works for you for effective delivery of active ingredients onto the skin. Now, our scientists say, well, in addition to that, is there other technologies that, other than cleaning or cleansing of the skin, is there something we can do better? And that was the beginning of the idea that maybe we can combine cleansing and also have a treatment sort of benefit added on to the cleansing benefit. And that was the beginning of our so-called specific or unique cellular motion technology discovery. So when you look at our scientific studies, we have conducted scientific studies and take this, what we call isolated skin cells, and put it under the microscope and look at them and say, are they behaving in the right manner? And when you apply certain motion, for example, without this unique cellular motion on the left, you see those cells are still randomly located inside the skin tissue. There are no differences. By contrast, when we then applied this counter-oscillating motion onto the skin cells, we're starting to see them align in a specific way, in a very positive way. And when these skin cells do this, what happens is they behave in the way we want them to behave to keep the skin healthy. And that is they started to produce anti-aging proteins. A wonderful thing to have in the skin to be happening all the time. And we achieve that with this particular type of science. I just want to show you an illustration because these are scientific studies and these are scientific photographs, and they may not be as clear to you as to some really boring scientists like me, okay? So let me show you an illustration here. On the left, like I say, when you use a brush technology, for example, This is just a regular, very common brush technology device. When you use that on this particular toy, where you can see inside the toy, suspended in some liquid, are two yellow little smaller balls. They don't move. Trust me, when they put the brush technology on top of that toy, it is actually activated. But when you look at it, you say, well, it's not moving. It is actually moving. But in order to use the brush technology, you literally have to move it with your hands, or else it doesn't look like in the photograph or in the video, it's not moving. But it is vibrating and it is producing what they call a sonicating effect. But it doesn't do anything. Those cells, as represented by those two yellow balls, just are motionless. By contrast, what happens is, with a similar toy, and we put this counter-oscillating technology on it, you can see clearly now that those yellow balls representing skin cells, they are moving very well. Isn't that the difference? Woo! Isn't that how you can demonstrate what our scientists have discovered is something that is meaningful and something that we should use to both clean or cleanse and renew our skin? Another graphic. Now, this device doesn't work on its own or by itself. You need to put a special gel on top of the surface of the skin so that it can go across this skin surface with the help of the gel, once again in a special, unique cellular motion way to remove all the dirt, and while at the same time massaging the skin so that it can stimulate those skin cells. So it's important to realize this particular technology works in conjunction with a treatment gel, but not just with any other gel. And our scientists, while we were developing this technology, also had to develop a specific and proprietary formulation to help it to work in the most effective manner. With the combination and with this unique counter-oscillating technology, sort of working on the skin, as I mentioned to you, anti-aging proteins begin to appear in the skin. It helps the skin to stay healthy. It helps the skin to continue to look young. And we have been able to show that in a scientific study, because as you can see, when we measure 4 very important anti-aging proteins on the skin, we see they have dramatically increased after the use of counter-oscillating technology. We don't just say that this technology works, we show that it works. And these are the types of scientific studies that clearly show that. Now, we have also done clinical studies. And here is an example of a clinical study that has been conducted over a period of 12 weeks. Notice, the first time we used counter-oscillating technology on the skin, we show immediately there is an improvement on at least 6 different attributes or 6 different benefits on the skin. All the way from making the skin smooth to making sure that the skin is properly clean. Now, that's not all. This is only after the first use. But if you continue to use the counter-oscillating technology device, you can also see that over a period of 12 weeks, you will see continual improvement. More and more. In fact, there is not a single benefit that does not show a 50% improvement after 12 weeks. A very powerful and a very unique feature of this technology. Here's a graphic to tell you. When you look at somebody's skin, the first thing that most people feel that whether the skin is smooth or whether the skin is young looking is by the size of the pores. The bigger the pore size, the more the skin doesn't look healthy. With the counter-oscillating technology, this device, when it goes across the skin surface, you actually see the pores are being cleaned in a specific manner. It actually, when it goes across the surface, it drives the dirt deep inside the pores, away from the pore. And as the dirt is being removed by this technology, you begin to see the pore size is back to its normal, regular diameter. And when that happens, the pore size looks much smaller, and the skin therefore looks much smoother and looks more radiant. So this is what we mean. Using the technology, we can both clean the pores very deeply, and also as a result, we get a reduction of the pore size. I've hinted, and I hope you got it, that this particular technology doesn't work as well if you don't use the right treatment cleanser. If you go out and use any treatment cleanser or whatever cleanser gel that you can get your hands on, and you try and use it together with this technology, the results will not appear to be as effective as I have shown it today. In fact, even when our scientists used some of the gels that we already have in their skin, they did not work as well with this technology. As a result of that, we developed special and unique treatment cleansers specifically to be used with this technology. In fact, because of our ageLOC experience and because of our genetic kind of a research we had been doing over the last few years, we used that knowledge also to choose and select the right actives to put into the treatment cleansers. And when that happens, and when you use these treatment cleansers together with counter oscillation, what you have, as I mentioned to you, the outcome is very, very effective and immediate skin renewal and deep cleansing. And when you have a positive impact on these two benefits on the skin, your skin will look smoother, your skin will look softer, it looks clearer, and together in aggregate, your face will look more radiant. Something, I think, that every product aspires to do on your skin. In this instance, we think we have achieved the best result ever with a new discovery. So, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So let me show you some before and after pictures. That's the face, just below the eye, before and after this technology used. The black picture is a technical picture of the area of interest, and those white dots show how rough your skin is, yeah? So when we did this study with several subjects, immediately those people came back to us and said, my skin actually, when I look in the mirror, my skin looks smoother, it's less rough, even after the first use. And we have confirmed that or validated that scientifically by looking under the microscope with what we call under black light. Because under black light, as I mentioned to you, those white dots, we can see very clearly how rough your skin is. I think you would agree with me. After the use, as shown by the right photograph, that after the use of the counter oscillation, there's very little white dots still present on the skin after the technology. So I think what we have seen here is the first demonstration of a clinical benefit of counter oscillation. Here's another subject, and again, there's more white before using this device technology, and on the right, it is after using it for the first time. Now, not several times, just after the first use, we can see a remarkable significant reduction of texture or roughness of the skin. These are all the positive benefits. There's one more thing we like to know. The scientists were interested and say, you know, many of us, including the scientists, say, you know, until we read up and researched brush technology, we have no idea that brush technology in general is very damaging to the skin. I wonder whether our counter-oscillating technology device is similarly rough on the skin, or is it really damaging to the skin? How can we demonstrate? How can we do a study to really show the difference between brush technology and this unique cellular motion? So we say, what is the closest thing we can have to skin? And we thought a gelatin is perhaps a good example to demonstrate how bad. Let's play the video between brush technology. Okay? Now, some of you very astutely will say, wait a minute, Joe showed me a very biased video. He used a different gel for each of those devices. Yes, I use a different gel. The reason why we use a different gel is because that's a gel recommended by the manufacturer for that particular device. We did not bias a study. We follow exactly the instructions that came with that particular device. So everything is fair and square. In fact, we were so careful to equalize the experiment that we had a special pressure gauge to measure that we don't push harder on the brush technology versus the counter-oscillating technology device. They were all applied to the gelatin with exactly the same degree of pressure. And yet, you can see there's far more damage. If that had been your skin, you would have gone to the hospital. No, only kidding. But nonetheless, I think you can see the differences in the damaging potential of the two technologies. So, I want to show another video because here is where some of you say, well, this is something our scientists, the new skin scientists came out with. It's almost like saying, which mother really say that when they give birth to a baby, that baby is really ugly? We gave birth to this particular technology. We obviously think it is the greatest thing since sliced bread. We think it's wonderful. Don't take my word for it. Let me show you a video. And she is one of the best and most well-known dermatologists in the world. In fact, she is a full professor of dermatology at Duke University in North Carolina. Her name is Professor Zoe Draelos. She has conducted hundreds of product tests. She has collaborated. Anytime you want to come up with a product, she will be the first dermatologist to put it through their paces to see whether they actually work or not. So she has lots and lots of experience looking at all types of different products. So why don't I play a video, what she has to say about our counter oscillating technology. Can we have the video?
Bristle brush cleansing the face does not work as well because the bristles basically poke the skin and cannot produce firm pressure without damaging the skin itself. The advantage of the silicone head with the unique pattern and the counter oscillating technology is that it pushes across the skin surface, allowing cleansing to occur at the depth of the pore, which is where most of the environmental debris, makeup, and other dirt accumulates on the skin surface. And this is not possible with bristle brush technology. So I think what's most unique about this device is there is an immediate consumer perceived benefit after one use. But many facial cleansing devices, that's where improvement stops. But with this device, you continue to see improvement on into 2 weeks that the consumer can see in terms of better skin smoothness. But then you also see improvement over 12 weeks of skin attributes as well. So that's the long-term benefit. And of course, those improvements probably continue on beyond that.
So, I think, for our intents and purposes, before we go to Kevin and help you explain even more what we have done with this technology, we are changing the world or the face of skincare, pardon the pun on that particular one. As you always, let me go back to the first thing that I've said. We brought you the best active ingredients containing products. We brought you the best of a new technology at that time in terms of the microcurrent galvanic / facial spa. And now to complete this beauty device trilogy, we think this particular counter oscillating technology device is going to make a difference in your lives as you use it. You can use it daily. You can use it in a shower. For all intents and purposes, this is a waterproof device, so you don't have to worry about it. You can literally use it in a shower. It's quick, it's fast, and you see the results almost immediately. So with that, I think the cellular motion science, as I've mentioned to you today, I hope you have a better understanding as Kevin will come and tell you about how and why we are bringing and launching this product today for all of you. Thank you so much.